Welcome to the medical waste portion of the Epic Plus online training. In this section, we will discuss the definition of medical waste and the top 2 medical waste violations.
In California, medical waste is regulated by the Medical Waste Management Act, which is found in the Health and Safety Code sections 117600 through 118360. For a better look at the law, please refer to the California Department of Public Health website listed here. In San Diego County, medical waste is also regulated by the local ordinance. A link to the ordinance is listed below. Medical waste is defined by and what it is, and what it is not. It can get rather convoluted and confusing, so let's break it down. As mentioned earlier, medical waste is defined in the Medical Waste Management Act, which is in the California Health and Safety Code. There are 2 requirements for a waste to be a medical waste. The first requirement is that the waste must be produced from the diagnosis, treatment, or immunization of human beings or animals, or produced from research pertaining to those activities, or waste produced through the production of testing of biologicals, or home-generated sharps which are brought to a consolidation point. Additionally, medical waste includes trauma scene waste, which hopefully is not generated by your business. Okay, so if your business produces waste that met any of these activities in the first requirement, then, in addition, it must be either biohazardous waste or sharps waste, or both, to meet the second requirement to be defined as medical waste. Wait a second, there's more. So, if your business produces waste that met requirements 1 and 2, then most likely it is medical waste. But,
As you remember, medical waste is also defined by what it is not. And the definition of what is not a medical waste states A. Waste generated in food processing or biotechnology that does not contain an infectious agent as defined in section 117675, which we'll get to later. And B states waste generated in biotechnology that does not contain human blood or blood products or animal blood or blood products suspected of being contaminated with infectious agents known to be communicable to humans is also not a medical waste. Therefore, if the waste generated at a biotechnology facility contains an infectious agent, or if it contains human or animal blood or blood products suspected of containing an infectious agent, then it is medical waste by definition.
So, what's an infectious agent? The definition of infectious agent now includes biosafety level classification as defined by the CDC. This addition to the law came as a result of this program and work group, one of the many process improvements that has come about from your input. If the waste generated does not meet the definition of medical waste, then it is not required to be managed as such. However, it has been observed that many biotechs that generate waste not meeting the definition of medical waste still manage it as medical waste. Remember, if it is managed as medical waste, then it must follow the medical waste control laws. In San Diego County, there is a category of waste called medical solid waste. This waste is obviously from a medical origin, but does not meet the definition of medical waste. San Diego County Code requires this waste to be disposed of in a way that prevents access by unauthorized persons. Oftentimes these wastes are taken out of unsecured trash areas and found in public areas, creating a public nuisance. There is no labeling requirements for medical solid waste. Most businesses use a locked dumpster or a secured cage area to deny access to unauthorized persons. It is always the responsibility of a business to make an informed proper waste determination and properly manage all waste they generate. Keep in mind that if waste items are observed by an inspector in a red biohazardous bag or sharps container, they will be presumed to be medical waste regardless of actual status.
For example, plastic pipette tips are routinely used in the labs and managed as medical waste in red biohazard bags. This may be unnecessary. Questions to ask yourself to make the proper determination are: does the tip contain an infectious agent such as a biosafety level 2 organism, or were the tips used to transfer blood or blood products suspected of containing an infectious agent? If not, then the answer is that it is probably not medical waste and would not need to be managed as such. Now let's review the 2 medical waste violations in the EPIC Plus Top 10. Number 1, no generator information on red bags or sharps. This is a San Diego County Code requirement and can be found in the San Diego County Code sections 68.1205 and 68.1206. Number 2, medical waste management plan not submitted to the Hazardous Materials Division, either initially or the updates, or both.
Medical waste violation number 1. No generator information on red bags or sharps containers, or both. The San Diego County Code states, all red biohazard bags and sharps containers that contain medical waste must have the business name, address, and phone number on the outside of the container. Don't forget the phone number. For some reason, many businesses leave this off. This medical waste sharps container has the complete generator label.
During the development of this pilot project, the benchtop red bag was discussed at great length. It was agreed upon that if a business has a routine practice of using small benchtop red bags that, when filled, are consolidated in nearby larger properly labeled red bags, then the small benchtop bag does not need to have the generator label affixed to it. Both of these benchtop red bags in the picture are not required to be labeled. However, it is important not to overfill the benchtop red bags. Always ensure that the waste fits inside the designated container. This photo shows that the waste does not fit in this red bag.
The second medical waste violation in the EPIC Plus Top 10 is the medical waste management plan has not been submitted to the Hazardous Materials Division. All facilities that generate medical waste must have a written description of what wastes are generated and how they are managed. This description is called the Medical Waste Management Plan. Only large quantity generators of medical waste and those facilities that treat medical waste in any amount must submit their medical waste management plan to the Hazardous Materials Division, initially and when changes occur. The medical waste management plan must have all the required information listed here.
To meet your requirement for submittal of a medical waste management plan, please visit our HMD website, where you will find a blank medical waste management plan for your use.
You can submit your medical waste management plan electronically through the California Environmental Reporting System, or CERS. To recap, the hazardous materials inventory element is where you should be entering any of your waste, including medical waste, as well as your hazardous materials above thresholds. Your site map is also uploaded in this element, although if your facility only generates medical waste, you can mark this portion as exempt. And right below is where you can click on the locally required documentation link to upload your medical waste management plan. You can find more detailed instructions on electronic submittals for medical waste generators on the medical waste page of our website.
Don't worry, it's really not that bad. As stated previously, only facilities that treat medical waste on site and facilities that generate over 200 pounds per month of medical waste must submit a medical waste management plan to the HMD. These must be submitted initially and within 30 days of any changes to the plan.
Okay, say you are a large quantity medical waste generator or business that treats any amount of medical waste on site. You must use the Medical Waste Management Plan form provided by the Hazardous Materials Division. Any changes to this form must be submitted to this division within 30 days. This document can be found on the Hazardous Materials Division's website.
However, for small quantity generators of medical waste, these are folks that generate less than 200 pounds of medical waste per month, and they do not treat their medical waste on site. They must also maintain a current medical waste management plan or equivalent on site and available for inspector review. There is no submittal to the Hazardous Material Division required for these generators.
In summary, the two medical waste violations from the top 10 are no generator information on the red bags or sharp containers, and businesses have failed to submit a medical waste management plan to the Hazardous Materials Division. In both cases, the violations could easily be corrected during an inspection. This is the end of the medical waste violations section.